Hi, this is Tim Donahue, and I'm going to break down the play that Jonathan Opping highlighted in a post earlier today. And I'm going to break it down with the first error that is made by the Pacers on this play, which is walking the ball up the floor. Here's Coach Frank Vogel talking about tempo.
We always want to push the tempo and explore opportunities before the defense is set. No matter who we're playing against, what the schedule looks like, what building we're playing in, that's the way we want to play. Sometimes it's not going to be as prevalent as others when you have a team that's a little bit fatigued. So we always want to push the tempo, and it wasn't that bad tonight. We got 14 points on the break, but we were just a little slow getting into our half court stuff.
And this is where being slow getting into the half court stuff really hurts them. As you can see on the still here, 1/3 of the shot clock's gone. There's 16 seconds left before they even try to make a move in the offense, and it's a timid one. Granger comes off a baseline screen, but does a poor job of setting it up. That allows Chris Singleton to run over the top of it and cut off the pass to the corner. Collison probes, then backs up to reset. Secondary action starts with a high screen from West. Again, the ball handler doesn't set it up well, and West has to step out. But then it opens up an opportunity that is not taken. As you can see, there's a gap there, and if West were to flatten out or to roll more towards the free throw line, you'd have an excellent opportunity to pick and roll attack, getting into the middle of the defense. He does not. He flares to the top, and then without looking, Collison continues to drive down and gets the ball to Danny Granger in the corner, as was planned on the first probe. As we freeze the play right here, we see both the good and the bad of what's happened. The good is the Pacers are very nicely spaced across the court. They've got 3 places that Danny Granger can go: to Hansbrough underneath, to Collison as an outlet, and across to the middle to David West. The Washington defense has sucked over to the right side of the Pacer offense, and there are opportunities galore. This is where the Pacers offense finally starts. The bad news is there are 10 seconds left on the shot clock at this point. And it begins with Danny Granger not even looking at a shot or not even looking at Tyler Hansbrough and kicking directly to David West. But again, this is both good and bad. We've got the ball back in the middle of the floor, and we've got it in the hands of a veteran who's done this before. Earlier in the season against Charlotte, he made a great assist to Paul George in a similar situation. Take a look.
They were in rotation, and usually that backside is where the open shot's going to be.
And tonight, Washington was in rotation, and so it's reasonable to expect that the backside where Paul George was is where the shot was going to be. But at this point, some of the mistakes earlier in the possession are starting to cascade. First, if you recall, David West setting the screen. He ended up setting it high and standing at the three-point line. He did not move after that. Therefore, when he received the ball, he's a good 2 feet above his normal shooting position. That takes him away as a threat there. Second is the clock's under 10, and there's starting to be a bit of a rush creeping in to the Pacers' movements. West has made up his mind before he received the ball, and he turns and feeds the ball to the corner for George. However, check out Jordan Crawford. Crawford understands where the ball's going to, and he's turned at the same time West has and is running to the corner to take George. A pump fake or a step into the lane could make all the difference in the world here, but at this point West had already made up his mind, and the ball goes into the corner to Paul George. But unlike against Charlotte, Paul George isn't ready to shoot. In fact, it looks like his intent is to drive all along, taking advantage of an out-of-control Jordan Crawford. But Crawford isn't out of control. He read the play, and he's closed out in good order. He forces George's drive away from the baseline and back to the middle, where George finds other defenders and no shots. For the first time in the shot clock, with only 5 seconds left, the ball briefly penetrates the paint before George kicks it out to Darren Collison at the three-point line again. After a moment's pause, Collison kicks the ball to Danny Granger, who is coming away from the basket and going into the corner. Through 21 seconds of the shot clock at this point, the Pacers have yet to look at the rim with evil intent. With 3.4 seconds left on the shot clock, there is the opportunity that Jonathan Opping identified in his piece. Tyler Hansbrough stands wide open under the basket. However, there are two defenders between Danny and Tyler. And keep in mind, 21 seconds have elapsed and the team hasn't even looked at the rim yet. Granger is basically in the position of doing what is his default job, which is getting a shot with the shot clock running down. He catches it, spots up, and shoots the three. With his momentum going away, he overestimates how much strength he needs and overshoots the ball. At this point, Jordan Crawford makes the second of what I think are four excellent plays in this sequence. He blasts Tyler Hansbrough, taking him completely out of rebounding position. Now with the ball and heading back down court, Crawford starts to make the third great play of this sequence. He blows past David West 50 feet from the basket. The 6'9", 230-pound power forward really has no chance of stopping him there, though perhaps hindsight would say that he should try to slow the ball down a bit. The better chance to stop came from Darren Collison, but Collison lost that when he took the inside path against the Wizards' big coming down. As you can see from the still here, he's cut off, and Crawford basically has a lane all the way from the hash mark to the basket. This play is over at this point. One of three things is going to happen. Crawford's going to score, he's going to get fouled, or if Paul George comes over to cut him off, he's going to feed Chris Singleton, who's filling the other lane, for a dunk. And here's where the fourth great play happens. Collison uses a little speed and a little hustle to get around the big, to get over to take a hard foul on Crawford, make him hit the free throws. He gets his arm on him, and he makes the play, but Crawford makes a better one. Keep in mind that Darren Collison is one of the smallest players in the league, and he's just not strong enough to stop this guy. Crawford hits the bucket, and it's going to be a three-point play. I'm playing this back at real time so that we all understand that this play, this series of events, took place within 30 seconds. I just marched through 7.5 minutes to understand what happened. There were no gross periods of negligence. There were no gross periods of stupidities, just little mistakes that in the NBA have a very, very high price.